This could be gnarly. This could be gnarly. One of the kind of taxing things about the 2 racks on this map is that natural of the Zerg base. It has a tight choke at the top of it, so I've seen Terrans utilize that so well, even like double bunker blocking it and such, just to make the Zerg's life even more difficult. And it isn't a super duper all in, like he's not going to commit to 20 bunkers or anything like ridiculous, because he is making the gas already, but it's definitely obviously going to be some bunker pressure here. And a bunker does start, and so far, is he going to see?
Oh, yes, that's a big tell right there.
Okay, how quickly does he pull drones? Because now he knows something's up, and immediately, he goes
thinking it.
Okay, that's a bit indecisive, actually. Like, these bunkers, every second counts.
Yeah, he needs to go now, as those Marines start to walk up the ramp. Trying to push back this Marine, killing the SCV, a big target here. He can't let these bunkers finish, or the natural is in big jeopardy.
And look at this target fire by Special. They're getting the far away drone. Nice micro by him.
Yeah, certainly nice micro on both sides for both players. And losing a lot of hit points there on that one drone. Reynor with a lot of drones here on the low ground. Looks like the bunker is going to finish as well, Ben. This is a little bit rough for Reynor.
Yeah, ideally you want to stop that from ever producing, but very different Zergs have different responses to dealing with this. And you see Special, he's just kind of looking, can I get a drone? Can I get a Ling? Can I stop that spine from even producing in the first place? And now I think he's looking to probably like think about settling down a little. Oh, Reaper follow-up? Okay,
what?
This is awesome. This is awesome.
You wanted something a little bit tricky, and I think we're getting it right here, Ben. The Reaper follow-up from Special. He is going to expand by the looks of things. He's got his camera hotkey set up. He does have that money for the command center and the natural, but he's not going to let the Zerg get out of his natural and pressure that at all.
Certainly not. I mean, this is enough Lings to deal with that bunker, I do believe, and he's just kind of giving it up. He gets away. The bunker's still taking shots from the Queens, by the way, not being salvaged just yet, but the next wave of attacks is to come, and he will get the salvage off most likely here, but dealing with the Reapers when you've not committed to getting speedlings, that gets a bit tough.
Certainly does. So no speed being taken here for Reynor. He doesn't have that 100 gas just yet, so the Reapers can still dance around these slow Lings. There's so many Lings, but they're only a problem if they're in melee range, with the Reapers trying to avoid that. A third command center for Special as well being made right now. Oh, the greed. Follow-up.
I'm really liking the economic position of Special. Like 40 workers to 48, you get to see that the third base isn't up and running. You get to see no lair in the main base, which is where you'd mainly put it. Like, he's not going to be feeling scared at all, and he's got 3 factories already up. He's getting Blue Flame, which isn't a cheap upgrade by any means, and he feels safe enough to just go take the third. It's looking quite good for Special so far.
Yeah, there's a lot of advantages here. Down a little bit in workers, but he's got a third on location before the Zergs is even finished. A Roach Warren follow-up for Reynor. These Hellions don't have Blue Flame just yet, and he does get a bit of a surround here. Ooh. Nice catch from Reynor.
He does kind of break out of it with the Reaper grenades, which is a big deal here. Keeping most of them alive too. The Reaper kind of tanking, but that was a really good trade for Reynor. Yeah, the thing is, it should have never went that good. And Blue Flame, it's like 10 seconds away from finishing just now.
Yeah, just a second of inattentiveness there from Special. Reynor capitalizing on it. Clicking all over the place, and we have an infestation pit also going down quite quickly for Reynor. As soon as the lair finished, he wanted that infestation pit quite quickly here. So you're feeling swarm hosts from the Zerg?
Honestly, I'm not sure. I think he's just going to try and
do infestors actually for Battle Mech.
Oh, I feel he has to just make a lot of units of like any sort of tech, like mainly low tier, just to survive against this, because right now he can't be thinking about the next stage of the game. He has to be thinking about surviving now, because Special, he's eking out a pretty big supply.
The Banelings pushing him into creep here. This could be Reynor's moment to get the connections. I mean, not quite.
No, I mean, that's quite costly. Like, Banelings aren't a cheap unit. They're supply efficient, sure, but they're not cheap at all. Behind this, Special's opting for a 4th CC. He's getting the +1/+1 upgrades. He's also starting, or rather, he's going to have that Cyclone upgrade done pretty soon. His army just gets significantly stronger with that 1/1. Now, Swarm Host can be like really good against certain kinds of mech, like the tank styles of mech, which is actually what Special's going for behind all this. So I think it's kind of a nice idea by Reynor, and it's a unit that can be extremely efficient. It's just, how do you make things happen?
Well, he's going for the most popular Swarm Host location here to the south of that natural. He's going to start launching off those locusts. It's just a few Swarm Hosts. There's the rest. Okay, so he's just sort of piecemeal trickling in these locusts instead of sending them in one giant swarm. But there's not really anything in his natural to push back the locusts, so the SCVs are just going to walk on out of there.
I do like the retreat. I also like the focus fire of the armory, because if he can get down that armory, that would be super darn cool, and it's getting real close.
Yeah, nicely done. Denies +2 weapons there. Doesn't get both armories like a laser did against Hero Marine, but that's still a very nice pick off. Anything he can do to slow down the Terran.
I do like this Nayas play. Like, he's being kind of unrelenting with it, right? Like, his supply's at 200, so all he wants to do right now is trade out, like, his worst units and just be annoying, and that's exactly what he's doing. Behind everything, he's getting a Spire, he's getting Hive, and he's continuous with pressure.
Yeah, the Link's going for a bit of a run by here, but the tanks catch them in the Hellions, and Reynor actually sees that Terran's moving to the south, so he's going to try and engage and wait for him to get a little bit deeper and creep and push back these tanks, but they have that cliff face to try and protect themselves.
I'm definitely a little bit scared for Reynor if this army sets up very well, because it is a scary army. These Lings are kind of wasted as well at that PF, and oh, these tanks, they've started to get into position where they can flak down the 5th, but oh, the Swarm host, they will be coming from the north.
Yeah, and he sees those Locusts coming on in. Special trying to get into hellbat mode to protect these tanks. Will it be enough? The Locusts picking up 1 tank, 2 tank going down, 3 tank. Oh, and those Biles getting a couple of those stacked up tanks as well, knocking him down from a lot of tanks to 3. Does Reynor have enough to actually clean this up, though? He's actually still getting pushed back.
The thing is, 30 of his supply can't do anything right now in those Swarm hosts, right? So he does lose his 5th behind all of this. And Special, he's not slowing down. This is a lot of Cyclone Hellion. We talked about it. Swarm hosts are great against the tanks, but against the Cyclone mech, not at all. And Special, he's moving in.
He is getting in range of that hatchery. It could be another dead hatchery if he gets those lock-ons. Of course, he is dancing with the Ravagers right now, but there's the lock-ons here, heading towards that hatchery, hitting that natural, or rather hitting the mineral line here with those Hellbats, doing a lot of drone damage. 13 drones going down here for Reynor. His economy knocked down to 69. He was in the 80s before. Special still dancing with these Locusts. He's got to pull back off creep.
Special supply is really, really good. It's 173, but he can make really valuable units. So he can choose to just make tanks, cyclones, whatever he pleases. He still has a few tanks to the south here that he can reinforce with, but honestly, I feel like the damage that he wanted to get done is done. And he's got a huge gas bank behind all this, too.
This attack from Special actually looks so scary. Even though he has Broodlords, that's a lot of cyclones.
It certainly is. And these roaches, that isn't enough to deal with that. It slows down the attack a little bit, I suppose, but oh, and he's just kind of forfeiting this base immediately. He knows it's too much Special for now. And the Broodlord's kind of out of position here.
Fungal goes down, but only hitting a few of those units. Special dancing back in time. In come the Broodlings here from Reynor. One Hellion just pulling into the natural here, finding some drones for free. And he gets the hatchery kill as well and starts to pull back. Really nice plays here from Special. Oh, he's going to lose a planetary.
Is he?
Oh, just keeps it alive. Incredible stuff. Big repair and great fast hands here from Special.
And behind all this, 5 Thors in production. He's also making starports. He's really respecting the Broodlords this game.
Triple starport also being dropped here for Special. He's certainly gearing up for any phase of the late game here.
Triple refinery as well when you got a 3K gas bank. I don't know about that Special, but
I don't know if it'll matter. We've got those Broodlings getting into the tank count, which is always nice. The Hellions breaking off into the natural, looking for drone kills, and they're finding them as well.
Oh, this kind of damage, it's unacceptable at this point in time. 15 drones go down. He's trying to deal damage again, but he needs to focus on his defense at this point. But that's a lot of Locusts. I think he's going to get this base now.
Yeah, finally does get that planetary. Yes, if he's not able to save that one. Good pick off there for Reynor, but he's taking so much more damage on his side of the map. Special still with a very large army. Does have a few of those units on the front line getting killed by the Broodlings. The Lings also surrounding these tanks. They're caught out of position without any front line. Reynor actually has the ability to take a really good fight, but I don't know if he can do it across the map, which means Special should be able to replenish his economy.
What happened to the supplies? Where did Special's army go? Did he just sack it all to kill that base? Because that's all well and good, Special, but we still have to be careful because your supply is very even with your opponent despite him being kind of down in the gutter economically. Special, though, he's teched up. That is a lot of Thors.
Yeah, that's very, very scary to the army of Reynor. While he did take a good trade at the front line, he somehow made the army of Special disappear back on his creep while we were watching the Locust harassment pick off that planetary. Special has rounded out his composition to be very, very much anti-tier 3 Zerg. Gets cancelled there on that base here that Reynor in 2 places at once here, trying to stop these run-bys from happening in the natural. He is going to get those fungals there, and he is target firing on that planetary with the Locusts. Repairs from Special, not enough this time, and it does go down.
I don't know how he's doing it, but Reynor's getting well back into this game, and if he uses these infestors correctly, if he gets a burrow off and gets a few neural parasites on those Thors, that's an army that can definitely get defeated by these infestors.
It's so anti-Broodlord, it's not very anti-ground army, and these infested Terrans are certainly very annoying. The Fungals and the infested Terrans combined, resetting that Viking count, pushing him way back on that air army. Special is got to get a lot more Hellions here, and probably even a few more tanks. These infestors are a huge problem for him.
A few minutes ago, Special was so far ahead, like worker count was up to like 77 against like 39.
It's amazing.
Reynor's got he's bounced back into this game in an incredible fashion. He's been struggling to get up a 4th base, and now he's at 191 supply with 53 workers. Still not the best spot economically, but he's getting back into it, eking out more drones. I'm loving the way that Reynor's playing.
This Swarm Host Nidus play is actually starting to really work out for Reynor. He sees this base as well. I mean, it is an orbital, so he can lift it if worse comes to worse. And with Reynor, with his borrowed lings, has vision as well to be able to get those Nidus worms, and Terran has to scan to get rid of them.
Oh, scanning for a single ling, that's so annoying, but that single ling later on with adrenal glands could wreak havoc on the base, so you have to, or just make a turret kind of thing.
Swarm Host getting up in the high ground here, more SCVs in their lines of sights, but he's actually able to just pull back here, just taking a little bit of damage on that sensor tower. That area is normally really powerful Terran, but also pretty powerful for Zerg if they're going for Swarm Host Nidus. And getting on top of that Nidus worm. Swarm Hosts just going to burrow themselves against Core, still launch their Locusts. Special's got this area without creep to the left side of Reynor's infrastructure, and he's going to try and push into that new hatchery that you were talking about, Ben. Lots of Liberators this time. That's tricky for these Infestors.
It certainly is. So one of the ways that Reynor has to go about this, infested Terrans into the Liberation Zones, then trying to get the Neural Parasites down. Right now he's focusing on winning the air battle. Oh, but now the Neurals start to connect.
Infested Terrans are popping out. The Neurals are actually still helping him with these Thors, and the Thors also turning and firing on those Liberators. Reynor taking another fight here, just using the spell damage there on those Infestors to start taking out those Terran units. Nicely done by Reynor.
And you see how difficult this is for Special to engage against. If he makes one foul move... Oh,
what?
Taking out the Greatest Spy, though. That's quite a play. No more Corruptors. But he immediately made 5 Corruptors as he saw it was dying. So that was a nice move by Reynor as well.
The sudden Hellbat run by into killing that Greatest Spire. You don't see it every day, but there it is. That's the Hive too, by the way. Surely you don't want to lose the Hive. That's quite bad.
So what does Special need more of? I love the addition of the more Liberators, because they are the one thing that kind of stood their ground and kept the Infestors at bay, but also kind of killed the Infested Terrans and some of the Infestors. This amount of Infestors is scary, but a lot of their energy is depleted, so he can't just go gung-ho, I don't feel.
The damage done with those Swarm Hosts, and that's all well and good, but can he stop this push of Special? It looks very, very rough here. Well, those Broodlings coming on in, he's getting rid of some of that front line, the Liberation Zone, so killing so many of these Broodlings as they land, they just die so quickly, and this hatchery's in big trouble.
And he's doing counter damage on the other side of the map too. 14 SCVs fall, and he slows down Special a little bit. But Special, he smells blood in the water. He sees that those Infestors don't have that much energy. He can't stop the Liberators right now, and he can't stop the Thors either.
No Vipers, no Abducts, no nothing like that. So these Liberators are going to continue to siege on forward here, leapfrogging from the back line onto the front line as Terran gets closer and closer to the Zerg. A Ling run by here from Reynor doing a lot of SCV damage, but can he stop the Terran from straight up killing him right here is the big question in my mind.
Reynor, he's buying time, but he runs in a few nice Neurals here, but the Liberators set up here. He's taken out a lot of those Infestors. They're running into the zones, but I think he just took out all the Liberators as well. I think he's done it. I think he's going to survive.
Great engagement from Reynor. These Infestors coming in clutch, and he even does damage on the other side of the map in the meantime as well, killing 15 SCVs. Reynor with these magical engagements, you just don't expect it to happen, but Special just can't finish him off. Nicely done. Both players actually with a pretty sub-effective economy, but Reynor is on that front line with those Infestors again. The tanks do need to be respected here by Reynor. He's losing a few Swarm Hosts, but the Locust Wave is going to get fired.
I'm so scared about these Locusts. Every time they're going to trade very efficiently, but he is running in with a lot of his Roaches and his Ravagers taking a lot of shots.
Yeah, he's keeping the Infestors safe, but lose a few Swarm Hosts there. Does get a few tanks. The Hellions still putting on work on the Reynor's side of the map here. Those drones completely alone, and he can scan to finish them off if he wanted to.
It was kind of funny. Oh, and he does do exactly that. And Reynor, look at his drone count, man. Oh, he's down to 27 right now, and that number's going to keep on dwindling.
And he has no bank here, does Reynor. He's got a bit of gas, but that is not that many replenished units. If Reynor actually loses in a bad fight here, it'll be all over.
Does Reynor have a Spire again, or a Greatest Spire?
Yeah, he remade the Greatest Spire, yes.
Okay, that's awesome, because that's the kind of units that he needs to get back again, I feel. He's dealt with all the Vikings and such, but those Infestors, they need support.
Oh, in comes some Locusts here from Reynor. He doesn't have that many Locusts, but he does get a good surround on the Thors. Is it enough to cut through? Doesn't look like it.
I'm getting a little bit scared for Reynor.
Me too.
Like, one of the things is his supply is super high, and look at his army value, or rather, army supply is 138, so it's not as if he's going to dwindle and die anytime soon, but man, he's broke.
Yeah, it certainly is. I mean, Special isn't exactly Rockefeller either. Doesn't have a ton of money, but he does have a big army that can trade very, very well against this. The Infestors are coming forward. They're looking for those Fungals and those Neurals again, and there they go. Infested Terrans as well. He is losing a lot of Infestors to those Siege Tanks, though, on the front line. The Infested Terrans coming on in, but Reynor also sandwiching from this left side here of this hatchery. He has the low ground. These tanks putting in work for Special, but Reynor seems to have a lot of units here.
Oh, the Neurals, they go down. All the Thors are now mine, says Reynor, and he takes out the big army of Special. And GG.
Oh, it was like pulling...